Hey guys, one of the ways you can make your academy fun and safe is by making sure that everybody's protected at all times, especially during times of randori. I've got about 30 minutes of randori here, just condensed real fast for you guys, just to give you some idea about how we manage mat space. So I'm just going to play this video and just let you guys watch and kind of comment as it goes through. So we've got our guys, they line up and then they just pair off, probably like they do at your academy, and everybody gets to work. I've got one guy, usually it's the host, it's me in this case, but usually it's the host that will make sure that everybody is safe, that it really does take one or two individuals who are kind of making an environment for everybody else to roll and have fun. So it's not maybe as fun for the professor or the coach or the guy who's hosting, but it does make it safe for everybody else. So I'm just going to roll through some of this. It's just going to fast forward. You can see that I come over here and I'm just getting in between these guys. Notice when I walk backwards that I'm always trying to kind of put my back against the wall. When you're walking around a room full of jiu-jitsu players, you are literally in the most dangerous position. It's not that guy over there rolling with the purple belt or that guy rolling with the black belt over there. It's the guy who's walking around managing space. That's the most dangerous place because your teammates are rolling around. They're not really paying that much attention probably, and they can like blast into your knee from the side when you're not paying any attention. So you'll notice throughout the video how I try to keep my back against the wall as much as possible. And I know there's no sound in this video that you're watching in the background here, but I am talking to these guys as we roll. Like when I come up, I'll explain it as we go here. So I'm just going to move this along here. So come in here. Okay, did you guys see that? I went ahead and put my hand on that pair, and I'm talking to those guys as I'm walking by. I'm saying, hey, I'm just walking by. You guys are good. You keep going. And I'm just kind of cruising through the field here. And again, this is the most dangerous place to be. I don't like to go through the field unless I have to. But I do sometimes in order to kind of firm out areas for these guys to roll in. If there's enough room for me to walk through, then these guys know that there's plenty of room for them to roll and to train. Okay, so I'm just getting in between these two guys here. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. You can see I'm always trying to get my back against the mat here, always trying to pay attention to as many groups as possible. Here I'm kind of standing in between these two guys, and then you can see I kind of run into a double situation here where I was the back two in the corner that were close, and then when they moved because they saw me, they got closer to another pair, and you can see I've gotten down on all fours here. And I'm just really going to try to keep my hand out in front of me and keep my knees bent and just they're not going to do anything crazy, but I just want to make sure that no accidental contact happens. So it's always a good idea. More communication is better than less. You can see me here just managing some space. As soon as these guys take a little break, I kind of point them in a different direction, splitting these guys up. So I will typically ask the guys who are lower in rank to reset if they're both stagnant, and that way I just kind of give a little preference to the upper belts in the room to let them create a more complicated game. It's not like a hierarchy thing. It's that your higher belts are creating more complicated game. They're setting traps up 2 and 3 moves in advance, and so to interrupt that and move them can sometimes be a little discouraging. But if it's the upper belts who are stalled out, then I don't have any problem moving them and letting the lower belts continue to work. So I'll just keep cruising through this video here. You can see always trying to move my back to the mats there. You saw me go over and slap that guy's hand. That's one of my white belts, and I could tell he was getting a little frustrated. He's rolling with a brown belt, and I could tell he was getting a little frustrated. So it's always good, nice little teachable moment to step in and just say, hey, it's all good. That's supposed to happen. This guy's been training a really long time, and he's very, very good. So don't beat yourself up over it. We've all know what it's like to roll with a super technical brown belt. So always take advantage of opportunities to have teachable moments with your students. Okay, so here, always notice how I've got my knees bent, my hands out, keep my back to the wall, and just try to stay out as much as possible. You can see their defensive posture. I'm moving these guys back over to some open space over here. And we didn't stage any of this. This is just like a normal Saturday. So here, I never like it when students are, like in this example, I've got one student who's down on bottom mount, and his feet are curled up, like he's bent at the knees, and he's pointed towards another group. And so if he was to do some kind of wild escape right there, maybe not something that we taught him, but maybe if he does something wild, he could end up kicking somebody like in the face or the ear or the eye. So I always like to try to move their feet around, and you'll notice I usually stop pairs, if there's a danger of their heads colliding. Just want everybody to have a really safe and fun time together. Here again, you can see this is a posture I like to take. You can see that student has his foot up against my leg. So I already have an agreement with my students. They know that if it's me, if I'm the one who's hosting and I sit in between them, that unless I tell them to stop or unless I tell them to move, they can keep training. So I'll let them accidentally push against me or kick me or put their feet on me so that they're not putting their feet on somebody else or another group who are, they're focused on their jiu-jitsu. And so it's just a way I can kind of shield the other group and just keep them, keep the integrity of their role alive. So these two were kind of getting a little wild over here. So I put my hand up. You can probably see it right there. And then the round ends, and it's time to slap and bump and bring on round 2. So here we go. These guys all started way too close together. So I'm just trying to go in and establish a little space in here and get them to spread out just a little bit. That was one of my students. He had to step out for a minute. So his training partner was just waiting patiently for him to return. Notice I'm always keeping my back against the wall as much as I can and facing as many of the players as I can so that I can kind of keep an eye on the entire field here. So just kind of weaving my way through. Again, this is super, super dangerous. What I'm doing is super, super dangerous. So I definitely think that you should weave through your people, but you should do it very carefully and pay really close attention. Just don't do it because you think it looks cool or because you're like trying to assert some kind of dominance. I'm not doing any of those things. I'm trying to keep space in between these guys as they roll so that they can roll without interference and just enjoy the morning and work really hard. They all came to work really hard. And so I want to just protect that environment for them. So here they go. If they don't need any help, I'm not out there. Can you guys see I'm not even in frame right now. So if these guys they're all doing fine, there's good distance, nobody's going crazy, nobody's going wild. I'm way over off to the side. So I'm not going to be on the mats unnecessarily. I'm not going to be out in the field unnecessarily. I only meander out there when I think it's important to do that. So here they go. They're just going to continue rolling. Now check this out. So this something interesting just happened. So this white belt student that you see over there on the left of your screen, his partner had to step out again, and we already have like this agreement in the room that guys who are on break or guys who are taking break help to manage the mat space. And so I train these guys to do that. This isn't an accident, and I love this. What a great example. This guy has one stripe on his white belt, and I hope that you pay really close attention to how he manages mat space because he's going to manage all over the room, and he does it like an absolute pro. So he's got his eyes on this pair. He's got his knees bent. He has his hand on that student that's in the black gi, and he's talking to those guys. He's just telling them, hey, I'm here. You guys are good. Let's keep rolling. And I'm actually off the mats at this point. I'm over in the corner helping. One of our students brought his son, and his son was crying a little bit, so I went over there to hang out with him. Check this out. So look at this guy. Picture perfect. So he's standing in between this pair. He's actually, if you can see, he's got his back to, that's a female purple belt, and she's working with a blue belt, and she's in a really, really good place. She's working some pretty high level tech right there, And so he's protecting that. He's protecting that roll. And he's got his hands on this blue belt here that's rolling with the purple belt. And he's just going to make sure that she doesn't get kicked in the head. And he's going to keep these two at a safe distance until they kind of right themselves over. And so that's he's rolling with Coach James. And so Coach saw that he was in a little danger there, so he rolled him over on purpose. But that inadvertently put him closer to another pair. And then you see my white belt friend here run to the other side, and look at this posture. He's in a perfect position to be as safe as he can in one of the most dangerous places. So again, we've talked about this beforehand. I teach my guys how to do this, and now I'm back on the mats, and now we've got two people watching the mats and protecting the environment. This is a great situation because with two of us, we can watch a whole lot more pairs and watch them more carefully. So we're going to work in tandem for a little while until the round ends and he can find another partner and everybody's back from going wherever they needed to go. And they're back on the mats and they're on it. Okay, so here I see a little, these guys, their heads are too close together for me. It's uncomfortable. And I want them to keep rolling. So, again, I take this posture where, so that's Coach who's got his head on my thigh right there. And he knows that he can he's safe to work there. So he's going to treat me like a wall. So he's going to just kind of pretend that I'm a wall. And he's going to keep working and not have to interrupt what he's doing so that he doesn't bonk heads with the pair that's right next to them. So I'm just going to hang out here for just a second, make sure everybody's good. I don't love this place, so I'm going to stand up real quick here and keep my back to the mats, or to the wall here, and just continue to roam around, and you'll see certain pairs, maybe you got a couple of long guys, and they take up a little bit more mat space. And so just going to continue watching this match go through. And I'm talking to these guys the whole time. You can't see it in the video, but I'm talking to these guys. You know, I'm encouraging them or giving them tips about where they can put their hands or their arms or how to get out of trouble. Or so here we got a couple of guys jammed up in the corner. Check this out. So I got two pairs jammed up in the corner, and I notice I have my back facing the wrong way, so I turn around just in time. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but then this third pair rolled towards us, and I finally had enough. So as soon as the pair that was deep in the corner got a little free space, I go ahead and give them the finger and send them down the way over here where there's a little more space for them to roll and continue their morning. Okay, just cruising through the mats here, just making sure everybody's good. Again, I'm talking to these guys, trying to get my back against the wall just as quickly as I can. Here I got two pairs. They were getting a little too rowdy there, so and they were at a good stopping point. So I just moved them over, and then I accidentally moved them too close to these other guys, so I had to get in the middle of that too. So again, back against the wall, and these guys were just kind of stagnant. Coach is working some instruction right there. He's teaching this white belt how to choke him, so he's being pretty patient right there. So yeah, so really good idea to manage your mat space and just make sure that you're always doing your best to preserve the roll, to keep everybody safe and just to keep everyone rolling and make the environment attractive and easy for people to get in and roll, and they can kind of just forget about what's going on in the world around them for 30 minutes or 40 minutes or an hour, however long you guys roll. And just a really good idea. Understand that when you're in the middle of the mat space, that is literally the most dangerous place that you can be as an observer. And so you have to kind of keep your head on a swivel and just really your job is to preserve the environment. So I hope that helped. I hope you like watching some of this mat time that we had this morning, and honestly, I hope that you can use some of that as a way to build confidence in your student base so that they know that they're in a trustworthy environment. They know that they can trust you or whoever the host is, and they can kind of let their mind go a little bit and just focus on their rolling. So I hope that helps. I hope that you have a safe and awesome week of training, and I wish you the best. And as always, I will see you on the mats.